So yesterday I watched Spider-Man No Way Home, and this is my super spoiler review. I'm going to talk about spoilers. This is just spoiler warning. But yeah, now I'm going to talk about the movie. So at the start of the movie, we get this really quick 10-minute clip where a lot of stuff is happening. He's trying to get into college, I think. And he can't get in because he's framed as a murderer. And he goes to Doctor Strange because he wants everybody to forget he's Spider-Man. Because his girlfriend and Ned can't get into college either. So he goes to Doctor Strange. They do the spell, and then 15 minutes in, he's already at the bridge. I was so surprised. I thought it was going to take him half an hour to get to this, but they're already at the bridge. And cars start flying around because they're getting destroyed by Dr. Octopus under the bridge. And then he breaks up from under the bridge, and he starts to fight Spider-Man. And then he realizes that he's not Spider-Man, and then he gets the nanobots, and now Peter can control his suit. And then he forces him to take him back up to the top of the bridge. And the lady says that she'll let him into college because he saved her. And then the pumpkin bomb from the trailer comes and it flies down. And then you see the Green Goblin, he comes down. And then Doc Ock says Osborn. That was a terrible impression, I'm sorry. Yeah, and then he flies at them, and they get teleported back to the sanctum, where they have this jump scare, where the lizard jumps at him. And then Doctor Strange talks about how they ended up doing a spell to bring through everybody who knows that Peter Parker's Spider-Man. And then Doc Ock is in the cell and the lizard is already in a cell. And then he starts talking about the Green Goblin, and Doctor Strange gives him this thing. He tells him if you hit one of the guys with this, it's gonna send them back here. He's like, alright, I'll do it then. And he says that he's gonna go start with the Green Goblin. Yeah, and then he asks Doc Ock if he knows him, and Doc Ock says it can't be him because he died. And then he's like, oh, okay. And then he goes to look for him, but he ends up accidentally coming across Electro and Sandman. Now Sandman protects him. He's a good guy. And Sandman just wants to know what's going on. He just wants to go home. So he helps Spider-Man beat Electro and send him back. And then he also sends Sandman back as well. And then after that, they're all in the cell. And then he goes, I'm missing out quite a bit of stuff here, which isn't that important. But yeah, then he goes and he talks to... No, Aunt May phones him and tells him that the guy that you're looking for is here at Feast. And he comes in, and it's the Green Goblin, but he's not the Green Goblin at the moment, he's just Norman Osborn. So he's not really a threat, and he goes back to the sanctum, and then Doctor Strange is like, hey, and he puts him in the cell. And then Doctor Strange starts messing with the cube thing to send him back, but Tom Holland doesn't want him to, so he steals it, and they go and fight, and Tom Holland wins. He traps him over the Grand Canyon, and he's there for the rest of the movie until the end of it. And he gives the sling ring to Ned and the cube to MJ, and he sets the villains free to come back to to his new house that he got at the start of the movie. Oh yeah, and Matt Murdock was there as well. I forgot to mention that. It's not really important. And then when they get to his house, they start trying to make cures, Norman and Tom. and they start trying to make cures for the villains. And the first one is Doc Ock. They cure him. They put him back to normal. They take the control away from the arms, and Doc Ock gives the nanobots to his suit, and it becomes the integrated suit. And then next is I think it's Electro. He puts this device on him to get rid of his electric powers, but then Norman Osborn decides that he wants to be the Green Goblin again. Well, not him. He doesn't decide that. The Green Goblin and tells Electro that he should be a bad guy again. And Electro pulls the device off at the last second, and he steals the arc reactor in the other room, and he goes off. And then the Green Goblin, he starts doing these WWE moves on Tom Holland. He absolutely kicks his butt. Straight down to the ground floor. And then Aunt May shows up, and she stabs him in the neck with his serum that he made to get rid of the Green Goblin. And it doesn't work. He hops on his glider, and he kills her with it. And then he throws a bomb at her, just to seal the deal. And then she talks about the great responsibility thing, yada yada yada. Now we cut to Ned and MJ. They're at Ned's house. His mom's there. And MJ's talking about how she's going to press the button because Peter hasn't shown up yet. And he was supposed to. But obviously he's off crying. So Ned does this thing with the sling ring. And he says, find Peter Parker. And Andrew Garfield shows up, and he walks through the portal, and he's like, what's going on? I've been here since yesterday. Is this something to do with the multiverse? And they're like, yep. And then they do it again, and Tobey Maguire walks through, but he's not wearing his suit yet. He's wearing it under this outfit, and he's not de-aged or anything. He looks old, because he kind of is. He's 50 or something. He doesn't look the same as he did in Spider-Man 3 at all. And then they start talking to them about how they need to find Tom Holland, and they start talking about what they would do, and they come to the conclusion of where would they go if they were in this situation. And they talk about two different places, Andrew and Toby. But then Ned and MJ say that they know exactly where he would go. And then we cut to them being where they were at the start of the movie. And he's crying there. And Andrew and Toby hop down and they tell him that they understand how he feels. And then Tobey Maguire also tells him with great power comes great responsibility. But Tom Holland doesn't care, and he says that he's going to go and kill the Green. Then all three of them start making cures for the villains. And they all make cures that are going to work. And they make this light for Sandman, a new thingy to go on Electro's chest, which he won't be able to pull off in time, and it's another serum for the Lizard, and another serum for the Green Goblin. So yeah, and then they go off and they grab the cube, and they go to the Statue of Liberty, and they lure the villains out to them. And they wait there, and the villains come. Sandman is not on their side. He is fighting because he wants the cube for the opposite reason that they do. He wants it so that he can send them all back. So Electro blasts him in the face. Oh wait, this is after the scene from the trailer, which is obviously edited. I think Tobey Maguire is going for Electro, and Andrew Garfield does a front flip and kicks the Lizard in the face. It's pretty cool. And then they say that here's the plan. We're gonna single out one of the villains, and we're gonna return them to their normal form. So they start with Sandman, I think it is, and they shine the light on him, and he becomes the regular guy from Spider-Man 3, obviously. And then I think they go for Lizard next, and they turn him back to Kurt Connors, and then Electro, and Electro talks to Andrew Garfield saying that he thought he would be black, which is kind of funny, and obviously a hint at Miles Morales. And then the Green Goblin comes in. And the Green Goblin blows up the cube. I'm missing a bit. I'm missing something. I know yeah, that's right. Before that happens, I think it's, yeah, before they even put the thing on Electro, Doc Ock shows up, he grabs the other two, and Electro's like, I don't need your help, Dr. Octopus. And he's like, yeah, I know. And then he steals the cube off of him, and he sets the Spider-Man free. And then that's when Andrew Garfield puts the thing on Electro. And they make the joke about Miles Morales. And they do talk about how Tobey Maguire's webs like come out of his wrists. It's kind of funny. That's when the Green Goblin shows up and he throws the pumpkin bomb at a box. It gets stuck in it. It blows it up. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention that Ned and MJ are here now because they walked through a portal trying to run away from the lizard. Because Ned can't figure out how to close portals. He only knows how to open them. And then that's when Doctor Strange shows up again. And he's like, you're so done. And he takes the, thing. The sky starts to break and he takes the sling ring. And they're like, no, but Peter's plan is working. He's curing them. And Doctor Strange realizes, oh yeah, you're right, he is. But the problem is that the box is broken. And there's an infinite amount of villains that are going to come through. So MJ starts falling, and and Andrew Garfield saves her. It's pretty cool. But then we get a scene of Tom Holland. He grabs a pumpkin bomb from Green Goblin's glider and he blows it up. And they crash to the bottom of the Statue of Liberty, and he says that he's gonna kill him. And then the Green Goblin's like, attaboy. And then they fight, and it's not even really a fight. Tom Holland just beats him up. He webs him down, and he just punches him in the face over and over and over again, until he grabs his glider and he's about to stab him with it, but Tobey Maguire stops him, and then the Green Goblin stabs Tobey Maguire. Tobey Maguire survives, though, obviously. All of them survive. And then he becomes No, Andrew Garfield throws the serum to get rid of the Green Goblin at Tom Holland, and he stabs him with it, and he becomes Norman Osborn again, and he's like, what did I do? And then Doctor Strange says, they're starting to come through and I can't stop them. And then Tom Holland says, what if you did the spell to make everybody forget that I'm Spider-Man? And he says, yeah, that would work, but everybody's gonna forget you're Spider-Man. And he's like, do it. And then it works. The cracks in the sky start to go away, and the villains and Tobey and Andrew go back to their universes like the Snap, except it's golden. And everybody forgets who he is, and he goes to the coffee shop from the start of the movie where MJ works at, and Ned is there as well. And he's got this note that he wants to read to them to tell them who he is, but he ends up not reading it to them for whatever reason, and he goes off on his own. And in the final scene of the movie, he makes a new suit, and it's a mix of all three of their suits. It's got the back of Andrew Garfield, the eyes of his suit, and the front of Tobey Maguire's. It's pretty cool. And then, of course, the post-credit scene is Venom. He goes back to his universe, unfortunately, but a piece of the Venom symbiote stays, setting it up for the next movie. And then the trailer for Doctor Strange plays, and Strange Supreme's in it, Wanda's in it. It's pretty cool. But yeah, the movie has some problems. Especially, my main problem is, unfortunately, Tobey Maguire. I don't think he's doing a very good job in the movie. I think he doesn't have much to say, he doesn't really do anything. thing. And then also at the start of the movie when he says that the spell pulled in a bunch of people who know that Peter Parker's Spider-Man, it's not even true. Electro doesn't know that he's Spider-Man. He even says it at the end of the film that he thought he would be black. So what? Doesn't even make any sense. Electro shouldn't be there. But obviously, it makes the movie better. Whatever. So yeah, I'm gonna give Spider-Man No Way Home a 9 out of 10. There's like a couple issues which don't make it a 10 out of 10 movie, but still a great movie. You should definitely watch it. It's the best Spider-Man movie, probably the best superhero movie. Go watch it if you can, or wait for it to come out at home. And that was my super spoiler review of Spider-Man No Way Home. And yeah, Spider-Man No Way Home, you should definitely watch it. Good movie. 9 out of 10. Bye guys.